Hey everyone, it's Sally Estlin from Magic Mike Moments. And today I'm super duper excited to sit down or kind of virtually sit down and have a chat with Gwen Lepard. Hey Glenn, how are you, Gwen?
I'm doing so well, Sally. It's been forever since we
I
did our first one.
This is a long, long time ago. And so I think we last caught up, gosh, I don't know, was that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, a long time ago when you came out to Oz, came and stayed with
I
me.
was there. I sat in your studio and we did it live.
Oh, that's right. That was a long
2018. It was 2018.
2018. Well, we started this in 2017, so that was 7 years ago, and that was through something that we were in together in WLA. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, we're reminiscing already. So before we get into it, let me just introduce a short little bio about your awesomeness, Gwen, and you always love that color purple, which I just love. You're so connected. And okay, so let's just introduce you. You're a purpose coach and dancer. You inspire sensitive entrepreneurs, writers, and authors who struggle with getting important work done to combine purposeful, focused action with movement to accomplish those difficult to get done business tasks with fun and in much less time than if attempted alone. You help clear the patterns, programs, and projections, keeping them seeking, angsting, and second guessing so that they can be themselves and love who they be. Right up my alley here. You're also a speaker, an international best-selling award-winning author, a mentor, and you have an entire toolshed of healing modalities at your fingertips. You're passionate about creating radiant relationships that stand the test of time. And I've got to say, knowing you, you absolutely are. Your passion is dancing and people for sure. So welcome, Gwen.
Oh, thank you so much, Sally.
So where are you hanging out these days?
I'm in San Diego, California. So if you happen to come to the West Coast, definitely
Oh, how's the
we'll
weather over there?
reconnect.
Yeah, how's the weather at the moment?
It's sunny San Diego.
Oh,
We're not under the marine layer burned off really early this morning, and it's gorgeous. Chilly for us though. It was 44 Fahrenheit this morning, which yeah,
whoa.
yeah, chilly, chilly for Southern
It is
California.
chilly for there. Yeah. So we're having a bit of a hot spell and it was 41 here the other day, which is about 107 Fahrenheit. Like that's super duper hot. Like that was Sweat City.
Yeah, you're in the summer. I'm in the winter. Obviously the turtleneck and the scarf, and
Sunstroke off.
yeah.
So, like Magic Mike is all about getting to know you a little bit about, your awesomeness and everything. And so, throughout your journey in life, there would have been lots of ups and downs. If you want to share some of the experiences that you've had, some of the challenges or some of the lessons learned that you've had along the way.
Since we saw each other, I had a really huge challenge that
Yeah.
that knocked me out. I mean, literally took me out of my business and pretty much out of life for quite some time. And I just started having these weird episodes where I would just start walking off to the right, and I couldn't walk straight. And
Yeah.
and they could last anywhere from a few seconds to hours. And afterwards, I was exhausted. I just literally would have to go to sleep. They happened when I was driving. I fell asleep at the wheel, and that was terrifying. My angels were watching out for me because I woke up because the car was slowing down, and there's cars zipping by me on either side. I was really close to an exit. I got off the exit and went to sleep because that was the only remedy. Never knew when they were going to happen. I couldn't find anything that actually connected them together. We did tests up one side and down the other, looked at my brain. I had a couple of MRIs. Those were actually pretty cool. Like brain did. That's loud, but yay for earplugs. All the other tests, not so fun. But my heart, they checked out my heart because that was their first concern. All good. I this time I was 62. So I'm 64, 65 now, just turned 65. And they said, well, you have this problem, but actually your body is about 15 years younger
Yeah.
than the age that you are, how long you've been on the planet. So
Yeah.
what is that? That means I'm 40.
Yeah, bring it on.
And I mean, it continued and continued. Uh, we They couldn't figure out what it was, but then a really fun, amazing energy healer friend said, "It's just expanding to contain more light."
Whoa.
Ding! all of these ascension symbols that our mutual friend Karen Can talks about, or the
Yeah.
symptoms.
Yep.
So they were symptoms of expanding to contain more light. And I actually said that to an ER doc, and he was like, and along with this, I had this rash that looked like tree bark crawling up my legs. It was just like, I felt so hideous. It ended up in a lot of places, and it all cleared out.
Wow.
I know. So I couldn't function working. Especially not marketing. I did notice that if I as I started healing, that if I stayed up really late and did a whole bunch of work on my computer, that the next day there might be one. So it lasted for over a year. And so during that time, I went to bed for a couple of months, had a terrible fall, nothing broken, thank gosh, but it put me back in bed because I'm like, oh, I'm done. I feel better. I'm gonna make some bread. No, you're not. You're gonna fall on the floor. And my cat did it. It wasn't just dropping to the floor. My cat actually knocked my feet out from underneath me and landed full body up to the air, full body on the side on tile. It was very painful. But that all healed. And during that time, I was having like a really bad episode, sitting, talking with some friends, and one of them was just creating a dance company. And he invited my friend and I'm like, hey, I can't, I don't know when I'm, might just fall or something. And, but my friend joined. So that's in January of 2022. And most of 2022, I spent in bed until August. And then at that point, my friend I went to support her at the dance company, and it was like, well, you guys, you know what's going on with me. And they still wanted me to audition. So I did. And I got in on the strength of my ability to freestyle, to be an interpretive dancer. So It's a spiritual dance company that, so we're multi-generational, everything from the 20s to the 60s. Yeah. I'm no longer those because I invited a friend who's older than me. And multi-modality. So you can be a freestyler, or you can have a past in dance. And I did. I actually, I was a dance major in college. So I had danced 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and 4 hours a day, Saturday and Sunday, and was crazy in my early 20s. And 40 years before I joined the dance company. And I think that part of it, that I was learning choreography. So I was expanding my vocabulary as a dancer. And even though I had to, if I had an episode, I'd just have to bow out and go rest. I think that using the brain and the body, it helped start healing. And I also had a really exceptional healer came through here, and we had a conversation. And at that point, I stopped seeing chiropractors, because I noticed that I was having episodes every 2 weeks, and I was seeing a chiropractor every 2 weeks. And the doctors were like, don't chiropractor. And it's like, but I've always seen chiropractors.
Yeah.
So I stopped. And between the healing from the energy healer, she's Lisa Warner.
Lisa Warner, right? Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the movie. So I've named two of the primary people that the movie, The Inside Effects, How the Body Heals Itself, is about.
Yeah.
Lisa and Karen.
Book. I was in in the first.
And you were in the book. Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't gotten to that book. I'm navigating the clickety clack, the second volume with Keith. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were in that one together. We were in that.
We're in that one together? No.
You in?
It is the blue one. It is volume 2. How come I don't know that?
I think I'm volume 4.
Oh, you're in volume 4?
Yeah,
oh, okay. I'm in volume 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's the same color or similar. I thought they changed the colors. Cool. Oh, I see where the color's different. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yes. So I had been after the fall, Lisa had turned me on to these.
What is that?
These are block therapy blocks. I have 2. There's a little one and then this one.
Are they like the Pilates or the yoga blocks?
This is actually wood.
Yeah, I was going to say, but
This is bamboo. This is bamboo, which is the same density as bone. And what you do with it is you lay on it and breathe.
right.
And you seek out pain because what it does is it releases the adhesions in the fascia
Right.
and with through breath
Mhm.
and pressure. So the pressure fibers, you're seeking pain, and then you get where you're in pain and you
Yep.
breathe, and your breath is your guide, and you stay for a minimum of 3 minutes to really melt it. And you
Yeah.
can stay longer if you want, which I stayed really long today. I had a couple of spots that I stayed for 9 minutes, just kept hitting the repeat on
Yeah.
my,
Yeah.
but there, I realized this is the reason why I was able at 62 to start dancing in a professional dance company. And now 3 years in with them on my third year, and because I do block therapy, and it literally takes the age out of your cells because it removes the toxins and the adhesions in the fascia. So pain is basically just your body saying,
Yeah. Wake
I
up.
need flow. I need flow. I need oxygen. I need blood. I'm frozen.
Yeah.
I need flow. So our tissues freeze. They have knots, painful knots in it. And you lay on this and breathe
Wow.
and
Ben,
yeah.
that's
And
incredible. What an incredible story. Like, how was it frightening when you
yes. Well, yes. And so confounding. It's
yeah.
like they can't find anything wrong with me. And I don't know when the next one's going to hit and whether it's going to be a few seconds or it's going to be, a few hours. I thought I'd never get to drive again.
Yeah.
And so the thing that I loved about the dance company is it was just down the hill. So if
Yeah.
I had an episode when they came on, I was okay to get somewhere to rest.
Yeah.
Um, and it was so close to home that I felt safe to drive there. All my other dance activities had to go by the wayside because they were a long drive.
Yeah.
And I'd had to pull over too many times to rest. And it's kind of, they thought vertigo at first, but it definitely wasn't vertigo. I've had vertigo once since then. It was like, oh no, that was not vertigo at all. It's literally like if you're riding a bicycle and your attention goes over here, you're steering your bars go where your attention is. And it was just, I'd have to hold onto walls. It was just crazy.
That is,
But
yeah, the most harsh ascension symptoms I've ever heard of. That is top of my list. That is incredible. So you must be so full of light these days and so in tune. And you must also be so sensitive because that's what I'm finding with the ascension. The sensitivity of us is whoa, off the scale. Like I've had to scale it in, be very, very mindful of where I go amongst people and even
yes,
conversations and your thoughts. That's one of my biggest takeaways out of this ascensions time is be very mindful with your thoughts. Very, very, very powerful. Oh my gosh.
thank you. Thank you for letting me share my story. I just kind of like took it over.
No, like that, I've never heard of anything like it. And, as a personal trainer, one of my key things with all of my clients always has been stretching, getting the flow through the body, however you do it. And I absolutely love bamboo because my clothing line is made out of bamboo. I know some of the benefits and qualities of it, but I get that, getting that, the unblocking where there is constriction so that we can get that flow through, removing the toxins, like you're saying. Absolutely.
This gives you more to stretch because you
Yeah.
can only stretch to what your body,
Correct.
to the limits, the
Yep.
restrictions.
Yep.
So this removes the restrictions. And yeah, I think I'm more flexible than I was when I was a dance major in the 80s.
So do you teach classes with the blocks or
I do not. I need to be certified and with the company, Deanna Hansen, who's also in the book that I'm in, in the Navigating Awakening Black book. Um, I follow her. I'm on her membership site, and I do a lot of classes that are online with her, and I would love to teach it, but I have so many things on my plate right now.
Oh no, as long as you're doing it.
But I would love, love, love to be doing that. I would love to take her course and learn how to teach it, and then be doing that on the ground here in San Diego. That's one of my dreams for maybe next year, maybe the year after.
So ever since I've met you, I would sum you up as very, lively and gorgeous and vibrant, but really it's all about dance and cats.
Well, the cats sometimes cause worry because, they're they're rescues, so they have challenges, but they're gorgeous. I do have a new kitty from when I
But
knew
now,
you. Yeah, my kitty that I had was a little Manx, and she passed at 18 years. Still fierce. She looked like the Sphinx, but the back of her body didn't work anymore. It was sad. And a couple of years later, Pearl came along, and she is a Maine Coon is the biggest. She's a Norwegian forest cat. And so all that rough and the tricolored fur, and she's literally gorgeous. The tail, when I got her as a kitten as a rescue, um, I went, if you grow into that tail, it was just, she was all tail, a little bit of cat kitten. And she's grown into it. But it's such a flag. She's so beautiful. I love her so much.
What sort of cat did you say that is? A Norwegian?
Norwegian forest cat. So basically they're designed for like Norway with where there's ice. So they have fur in between their paws, which helps them walk on ice. It doesn't work on tile though, because she'll jump up on the counter and she's like, because there's no purchase on the tile.
That's hilarious. Now, one thing that you were doing a while back now was 365 days of how I love myself. So a daily Facebook Live recording. Like, what, if you can think back to that time, what were your sort of key takeaways from that?
Clarity. That's the number one thing that people have actually noticed about me, that I was much clearer. And to commit to doing something so visibly. So it was 365 days asking the question, how do I love myself today, live on Facebook Live, when Facebook Live were, they were at the beginning. Yeah. And you were my guest a number of times, quite a few times, I think, actually. And so I've discovered that self-love is a practice. Mm-hmm. And there are days when you will not feel like loving yourself, and that's okay to be gentle with yourself. Yeah. And that there are days where loving yourself is so easy. You look in the mirror and it's like, oh, I love you. Oh, you look good. And so you balance that. And, having the tools of being able to just love yourself.
Yes.
Self-love, and feel the love, flowing from your hands into your face or into any other body parts. Hugging yourself. I love hugging myself. Give yourself a good shot of oxytocin by hugging yourself for 20 seconds. It's amazing. You don't have to have somebody else to do it to create the oxytocin, but 20 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds, there you go.
And we can talk about it, but when you actually do it and feel it, because the core issue for every single person on this planet is not having enough self-love and enough self-worth. And, we're always looking externally for that love when it's all within us, and it has to start within us. And, we were talking about thoughts before, about how important they are. As we go through this ascension process, this dimensional shift, it's more important than ever to go within. The answers lie within us, but we have to be more compassionate, understanding, and forgiving on ourselves. We are our worst critic. The things you say in your head, you wouldn't say to your worst enemy. I mean, it's appalling the way, the self-talk that we have. And you would have really dive deeper into that through 365 days. And it might have started, like you fake it till you make it. You might say these words, but till you actually feel these words. And so when you're saying hugging yourself and actually holding that for 20 seconds, the oxytocin, as you're talking about, that feel-good hormone, your shoulders start to drop. You can feel it. You can feel your heart start to expand. This ascension time and this dimensional shift is about that real feeling, that real connection. It's not, the old way is so superficial, it's just words. The new way is feeling those words. It's attaching and connecting to them. And that's why I love doing these podcasts. It's talking to real people and having these real pearls of wisdom come through, and, tips for people. Like, in the intro, you've got this massive toolbox. And like you say, I'd love to add in the block but I've got my box is full at the moment, but it's applying these principles every day, like really just giving yourself a bit of a hug. When you're feeling really down and you think, oh, I'd love a hug. Well, hug yourself. Like, I know it's just once we start doing it, look at that, and you make it look so natural. You actually look like a pussycat there. Oh, just love it. But which leads to my next question. Actually, I always ask my guests, what would you describe your superpower as? The essence of you. Why are people drawn to you? What's your magic?
And thank you for elaborating on that, because usually I say my superpower is flexibility, but as you continued, it's presence. That I bring my presence, which is, my belief is that the purpose of every single person on the planet is to be themselves and love who they be. And, you've got to start with the be who you are. And there's so many programs, projections, and patterns that are in the way. And so helping people get that stuff out of the way so they can really be who they are, who they're meant to be, and start loving themselves, because that is the key. And you can love yourself, even when you're a mess. That was part of what I learned with the 365 days. You can love yourself when you don't feel lovable.
Yeah.
If you can love yourself when you don't feel lovable, that you're really getting there.
I think absolutely. And that is probably one of the hardest things to actually take on board, when you're in those real dips. And trust me, as we go through this, the highs can be high, the lows can be very low. And I always say, stick to the light and you'll be right. But even when you're going through those dark days, it's just realizing the love is within you. And it's part of this awakening, is people realizing this oneness, like we're all connected, but it's all connected inside of us. It's not out there, it's here. It's actually
so everything is right here. We have everything that we need. And we need people to reflect that to us.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, I'm just loving these conversations. So that leads into actually my next question. What do you think is the biggest issue for people that you come across, your clients and things?
Well, currently remember back in 2018 when I created the Get It Done Labs so that we could implement the stuff that we were learning at WLA. So that has actually come back, because so many sensitive entrepreneurs have trouble doing the work that they need to do to get their message out there by themselves.
Yeah.
And so I recreated the Get It Done Labs. And so being able to have the support and the presence, just being held. I mean, I'm not telling anybody what to do or how to use the time. I have a container, I have structure, and I invite people to join me, and I'll be doing that actually as an offering, a paid offering going forward. I'm doing all of the back end stuff on that right now. But I've been doing them off and on since 2018, and discovered that so much more gets done. You literally collapse time. So you don't have all those things that, it's like, oh, I need to do that. And I need to do that. And I need to do that. And I'm dreading doing that. So instead you come, I had some data entry I needed to do. And I'm like, oh, it's going to take hours. It took me one work segment, 20 minutes. I was done before that work segment was done.
Yeah.
And so all that was off, the worrying about it, the mind talk about it, and literally draining my energy. All of that was gone. So it's like lightens you up so that you can, have the energy for your life and for what you want to do next.
I love that.
Yeah, that's important too.
You're bypassing that, that logical mind that's the critic, blah, 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 and just get it down, get it done. Like, I love that. Yeah. Yes. I'm a huge advocate for that too. So then what would be 3 tips to help people who, overcome that issue of doing the work, trying to get the message and doing it all by themselves? And that's where you've got this, get it done sessions, but sort of 3 tips to help people navigate that process.
So number 1 is it's okay to ask for help, because so many solopreneurs, it's like, you got to be the lone dog, the lone wolf. You got to do it all you by yourself. Nobody can do it the way you can. And that is true. And learning to delegate, asking for help, hiring help, finding good help and boy, I've been, because of my unwillingness to let go of control, I had a lot of challenges with a lot of VAs, virtual assistants,
Yeah.
and then I've had throughout the time some virtual assistants VAs that helped me learn how to delegate, and that had really strong boundaries. So I learned from everybody that has worked with me, that I've hired to work with me, and came to where I'm now onboarding a new assistant that I'm really excited about. And while we're like you, she's ahead of me in time.
Yeah.
I feel like we're really starting to sync up, and that having that help will be amazing. And even with the VA, there's still things that only you can do for your business.
Absolutely.
So knowing the difference
Mm.
and doing the priority things. I mean, there's an interesting thing about procrastination. And procrastination can actually clear your brain. It's like you're procrastinating on something. Your brain needs to be cleared first of all those other things that have been niggling and draining you, so
Yeah.
that you can do the thing that you say you want to do. So
Yeah.
sometimes if you take that procrastination time and get the things done that have been weighing on you,
Yeah.
and then it's, oh, they're done. Now you can move forward on the piece. So you use procrastination to clear all of those things, come to a get it done lab and get all of those things off of your plate, so that you can actually do the thing that is like your big dream, the project that you want to do, the people you want to help.
Yeah, I love that.
So asking for help is the number one tip.
Yeah. Yeah. Learning to delegate, and then
Learning to delegate is, that's part of asking for help, but it is, that is different, because you can ask for help, but if you can't delegate, you're just going to be paying somebody to sit and work with you.
Yeah. I'm a big advocate for focus on the 10% that you're really good at and outsource the other 90%, because otherwise you're scattered too thin, particularly as solopreneurs, right?
Absolutely.
So hard. And I think, I use VAs as well, and I've got them all over, and just so helpful. But it's a little bit like AI. You have to guide, it's just,
Oh yeah.
You're the brain's trust, and then you delegate the content and the information and the tasks. So yeah.
Yeah. And know what you are really good at. What is your genius? That, because sometimes we're so spread thin as solopreneurs that we're not aware of what our true genius is. And so getting that narrowed down, what is it that you really love to do? And that takes you almost no time. Is like the thing that you can do the best, that other people have, the thing that you love to do and you can do the quickest and easiest, is the thing you should get paid the most for.
It's so true. Oh my
Because
God.
you're sitting there going, but it's so easy. Why should I charge for it? But other people have trouble doing it. It's like your genius. And so those are, I remember a mentor saying that to me once. I'm like, really? I should get paid for this?
You're living your joy, right? And it's your passion and your joy, and it shouldn't
Which
be.
raises vibration.
Yeah, exactly. I really love that. I really like that. So over your massive journey, I have this mantra: let go, step up, and be more. And it's very much in line with what you're doing. So be more of yourself and all that sort of stuff. So over your journey of the 65 years, what do you think is the biggest thing that you've let go of, and where have you really stepped up?
Ooh.
More of yourself.
Stepping up has definitely been dance.
Yeah.
I know that's the title of a movie, the whole movie series about dance. I've stepped into dance and brought that back into my business, because that's part of the Get It Done Labs. We get up and we move in our breaks, bringing the physicality, because the sitting is, they say it's the new smoking. It's bad for your health, and standing too much is also bad for your health. So combining sitting, standing, and movement, so getting the body flowing, is where I've stepped up. What have I released? Control.
Wow.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yeah. Releasing control, releasing the need to be right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be right, or do you want to be loved? I remember having that question asked. And I'd rather be loved, love myself. And I'm willing to, even if I'm thinking I'm right about something, I'm willing to go, okay, what if what if this person has another perspective that actually gives me more information instead of just going, oh, I'm right, because it makes you tight.
Yeah.
Hanging on to being right, it's like your whole body's like, I look my age when I do that, don't I?
Man, you look like a spring chicken, I tell you, man, you look incredible. But it's true. It's the wrong energy, isn't it? Look what it does to your body. It tightens it, it constricts it, it stops that flow. It's, you can't even breathe. Your face goes red. I love that. It's so true. I mean, it's the getting of wisdom as we age gracefully, isn't it? And I just love, because as I said, I align you with dancing and cats and vibrancy throughout all of that. And it does sum you up. So, at the end of the day, what is the thing that gets you out of bed? What are you most passionate about? What gets you that spark in the day? Yeah, bring it on. What lights your fire within?
Oh, so funny. I start my day by, well, the cats get me up. It's 4 a.m. Feed us. Not. So I wake up and I put this under my belly and I start breathing. And so that gets everything flowing. And then I have some practices that I love doing. I don't do them all the time, but when I do, I really notice better flow. Like I'm writing a book about the core vitality system, which includes 13 chakras that are not the Egyptian chakras. These new 6 are from the future, and they're.
Whoa!
I know.
Woo! Stop.
It was a chapter in a book. I reached out to, because I learned about the Egyptian chakras from Marcus, and it was like they just didn't resonate because they weren't in the lower body. So there are 4 in the lower body. So so it's a chapter in the book, The Water Code by Rainey Marie Hiley. And so she and I ended up creating a friendship because I reached out. I asked her, could I teach them? So from 2021, 2022, I taught about these 13 chakras. And then I just kept getting the call to write a book because like every time that I'd show up for one of Keith's book launches, I'd win the Make Your Book project thing. It's like Karen was like, Gwen, you got the message yet?
Yeah. That's hilarious.
So they actually put the brakes on because I was trying to do it in 30 days to finish everything up in 30 days. And they went, don't rush us.
Yeah.
Okay. But the book will be out next year. It'll be out in 2025. It'll be out in 2025. And I brought in 13 authors to collaborate and reflect how the chakras have impacted their lives and also share some of their juicy magic because they're amazing people and I want the world to know about them.
Oh, the future is collaboration, right? It's community connection.
Yes.
It's all about that sharing, caring, and because the sum of the whole is greater than the individual unit. So when you get these wise people together with all this, wisdom and information and share. I love it, Gwen. I love it. Love how you're doing a different take on the 13 chakras. I'm very excited to hear more about that. That's really cool. Wow.
And I know you asked a question and it led to that. So what was the question again that I was
answering? Get you out of bed. Like what lights your fire each day?
Well, yeah. So writing. It's like I go to my sauna and I do the morning pages from Julia Cameron. So I call it spew because oftentimes it's just random things. I've been doing that for so many years. And I notice now that instead of trying to keep a thought, if a thought interjects, I just jump and go to that thought. And really do a really good brain dump, get all of it out of the way. So writing in my sauna gets me out of bed. The cats, of course. Being able to take a walk down to the ocean, to the cliffs and breathe in the air and see the birds, the pelicans. I think I want to come back as a pelican, that or a cat. A cat that is one of my cats. Because they surf along the waves and they're just so elegant. And then they can dive deep for their food and
they're big, like because I have pelicans down. I've moved down to the beach, and it's huge. It's huge.
And they fly in flocks for the most part, and you just watch them surfing the inside of the wave, the wind. So they're wind surfing off the power and the energy of the wave, and then they go up over and
They are so graceful, and when they glide in to just land on, and yeah, we have them at the marina, and they sit on top of the posts of the, I don't know, the boat things and the big posts, and almost watching guard. I was in Marimbula last week with PJ, and they have a lot of pelicans there, and along the street lights, they're all standing on the top. I thought they were statues, but they were real, real pelicans.
Real pelicans,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, just beautiful, just
Yeah.
beautiful.
So a lot of things get me out of bed.
So down the track, how would you like to be remembered? What sort of legacy would you like to leave? It's a long way down.
Yeah. Well, to be yourself,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so many people struggle with their purpose. It's like they have to have a purpose. And sure, there are soul purposes and things that, that do get you out of bed because I've got to get this out into the world. The book about the core vitality system is like that. And yet, your purpose is to be yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
Be yourself and love who you be. And first it was just, because when I first got that, it was like, what? Because I was so struggling, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to do? Yeah. And when it came through, it's so simple. I'm really good at complicating things. I know a lot of people that are. and when you simplify, if there's something that is complex for you, allow yourself to simplify it. Allow there to be a simple answer. Yeah. That I guess that's something that I'm working on, but I'd like to be remembered for that I can simplify complicated things.
I love it. We're all a work in progress, but it really is dumbing it down to, and it's not even dumbing it down, it's just keeping it back to basics and keeping it simple.
It's creating David.
Yeah, but
it's taking away all the things that weren't David, all of the rock and the stones, Michelangelo, taking all the things away from the stone that were not David, and allowing David to shine. So
love that.
So allow your inner David to come out, your inner being, your soul to shine, because that's shine your divine. One of my favorite things. Yeah, you go shine your divine.
That, because it's so true. We do get caught up about, what's my purpose? And then you're struggling. I have got no purpose in life. And your purpose is just to be yourself. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's just to be happy. It's to be happy and healthy, abundant, realize we've got the abundance around us. I know it's that feel good stuff. It really is that simple. And we get so caught up. I do myself too. Oh, what's my purpose? I'm searching and yearning for more purpose and more meaning. It's like, wait, stop. Stop.
Meaning making machines. We are meaning making machines. And actually, as a joy authority, when I was named that back in 2012 or something. Anyway, so happiness is actually it's a result, where joy is a being. Happiness is like feeling the rays of the sun.
Yeah.
Joy is like being the sun. So be the sun. So really, it's not just about being happy, because that often is because of the circumstances around you, but to actually be in your joy and in your love and the peace and gratitude. That gratitude didn't even make the David Hodkin scale. And I've been testing it for about the last 5 years, and it keeps coming up 800. And the last time I tested it was 888. So on the Hodkin scale, gratitude is something that we can do daily. And expressing gratitude for who we are, for, who we're, the bodies that we're in, whatever it looks like, and who we are here in this moment. And having that gratitude raises the vibration. And if we can raise the vibration of as few as 10,000 people to love or to joy, we can bring the whole planet up to courage and willingness and trust. And if we're at gratitude, which I know PJ talks about a lot, that if we're at gratitude, we can bring up the entire planet to love.
And, I'm just feeling the peace as we talk about that, because it's just, this whole shift is about stepping into the love. It's out of the fear and the doubt, but it's into that peace, and it's into that being, and it's into the silence, and it's into the simplicity. And the more that we can allow that to land and feel that, like, that is the game changer. And we've been playing this game of like head stuff, and it's just get out of that and let that go. I mean, Well, you went through an extreme example of your lessons learned of ascending and like letting go of that control, connecting more with the dance and the movement and everything that it can release and connect you with. But it's that silence and being. And you're so true. It's just like happiness is the result of being the joy, being the love, being grateful. I mean, gratitude just shifts and lifts everything. It's one of the quickest tools to lift your energy straight up. Like gratitude and positivity. I'm so grateful for that. It's that easy. Oh, yes, Gwen, we are so on the same page. So at the end of the day, where can people find out about the wonderful and lovely, vibrantly gorgeous Gwen? Is it gwenlepard.com?
It is gwenlepard.com, and it's spelled like the big cat, but without the O. So Gwen, Gwen, Lepard, Lepard.com. And yeah, you can find me on Insta and Facebook and LinkedIn. I'm going to have more purpose. I'm going to have more presence there. That whole 365 days in 2018, I was a little overexposed. So I kind of stepped away for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, my website, you can always find me at gwenlepard.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Gwen, it's been such a joy to have you on Magic Mike Moments. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. There is so much there, but, and also hopefully people have taken away the key takeaways of just be in that love space, be with the joy, be grateful, and let stuff go and just really, breathe, get into the blocks. This can help get that flow, remove the blocks within you, and just, enjoy the days. It really is about just enjoying life and having more fun. I think you are a fun star. Absolutely. I absolutely love and adore your energy. And I still have ingrained in my memory, all the dancing. We were down St Kilda one day and the markets were on and you were just got out there and just sort of like free flowing with the dancing. It was wild and it was fantastic. And you could just feel you just being you. And I think, if we can encourage more and more people, as you said, lift 10,000 people up to just being themselves, lifting that love vibration, it can change the world. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to see you and have a great conversation with you again.
Yeah, well, keep us in the loop for when your book comes out next year or whenever. So woohoo, bring it on. And I'm going to about these new 13 chakras. So Gwen Lepard, thank you so much for being our guest. We look forward to chatting to you again soon. See ya.